Hi, Guy, thanks for watching me and support me. This episode talking about how to master the vocabulary. Once upon a time, in a small, book-filled village named Lexicon, there lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara loved stories, but she often struggled to understand the deeper meanings of the tales she read. The problem she realized was her limited vocabulary. She longed to master words, to weave them into her own stories, and to understand the world in all its richness. One day, while wandering through the village's ancient library, Ilara stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound book titled The Word Weaver's Guide to Mastering Vocabulary. Intrigued, she opened it and found a note tucked inside. To the seeker of words, mastery begins with curiosity and grows with practice. Follow the path, and the words will reveal their secrets. Ilara decided to embark on the journey outlined in the book. Here's how she did it. Step 1. The Seed of Curiosity. The first chapter of the book advised Ilara to start with what she loved: stories. She began reading more books, but this time she kept a notebook by her side. Whenever she encountered an unfamiliar word, she wrote it down. At first, the list grew quickly, but Ilara didn't feel discouraged. She reminded herself that every word was a new tool she could use to build her own tales. Step 2. The Garden of Definitions. The next step was to understand the words she had collected. Ilara visited the village's wise librarian, Mr. Thorne, who taught her how to use a dictionary. Each day, she looked up 5 new words from her list, wrote their meanings, and tried to understand their nuances. She learned that words like serene and tranquil might seem similar, but each carried its own shade of meaning. Step 3. The Forest of Context. The book emphasized that words come alive in sentences. Ilara began crafting her own sentences using the new words she had learned. For example, she wrote, "The serene lake reflected the golden hues of the sunset, while the tranquil forest whispered secrets to the wind." This practice helped her see how words fit into different contexts. Step 4. The River of Repetition. Ilara noticed that some words slipped from her memory as quickly as she learned them. The book advised her to revisit her notebook regularly. She created flashcards and quizzed herself daily. Over time, words like ephemeral and resilient became as familiar to her as old friends. Step 5. The Mountain of Challenge ***. To push herself further, Ilara began reading more challenging books, classic literature, poetry, and even scientific journals. She joined the village's debate club, where she had to think on her feet and use precise language to make her points. At first, it was intimidating, but with each debate, her confidence grew. Step 6. The Sky of Creativity. The final chapter of the book encouraged Ilara to create her own stories. She began writing short tales weaving in the words she had mastered. One of her stories, The Whispering Willow, became so popular that the villagers asked her to read it aloud at the annual Lexicon Festival. As she stood on the stage, her heart swelled with pride. She had become a true word weaver. The moral of the story: Ilara's journey taught her that mastering vocabulary wasn't about memorizing lists or impressing others. It was about curiosity, practice, and the joy of discovering new ways to express herself. Words, she realized, were like colors on a painter's palette. Each one added depth and beauty to the stories she told. And so, Ilara continued to read, write, and learn, knowing that the world of words was endless, and her journey had only just begun. The end.